Ferrari isn't a car, it's a religion. For 70 years, every single Ferrari sounded like the devil himself built the engine. And then, Ferrari did this. No roar, no soul, just a badge on the wrong car. It started in 1947. A man named Enzo Ferrari built a car in a small town called Maranello, Italy. He didn't want to build cars, he wanted to go racing.
Engine bogs down, and David Pearson takes the lead, with Petty and Gottsback right behind him.
The road cars? Those were just how he paid for it. But somewhere along the way, something happened. The cars became more than transportation. They became a statement, a religion, a middle finger to ordinary life. Schumacher, Maranello.
But again, Montoya loses speed in the middle part, and here comes Michael. Michael gets back into Montoya, and Schumacher retakes the lead. A round of applause from
the Tifosi screaming from the grandstands. A V12 engine that sounds like God clearing his throat. That's what Ferrari is. That's what Ferrari has always been. Was. On May 25, 2026, Ferrari unveiled its first ever fully electric vehicle. They called it the Luce, Italian for light. Appropriate, because everything that made a Ferrari feel heavy, the weight of history, the roar of the engine, the sheer aggression of the thing is gone. 4 electric motors, 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, top speed of 193 miles per hour, range of 329 miles, 5 seats, 4 doors, a 600-liter trunk on a Ferrari. And who designed it? Ferrari hired Johnny Ive, the man who designed the iPhone. Because nothing says Italian racing soul like the guy responsible for the rounded corners on your MacBook. The price? $640,000, starting, for a family sedan. Now Ferrari knew they had a problem, because a Ferrari without a sound is like a Harley Davidson without a rumble. It's just a motorcycle. And Ferrari without its engine note, it's just a very expensive way to get groceries. So Ferrari's solution, and I want you to really appreciate this, was to amplify the natural vibrations of the electric motors. To create, and I quote, an entirely new electric performance signature. They didn't fake the old sound, they invented a new one. It sounds like a very angry refrigerator. Harley Davidson tried the same thing with their electric bike a few years back. It went exactly as well as you'd expect. Because some brands are their sound. You can't separate them. You can't rebrand a roar into a hum and call it progress. Here's the thing. When Toyota builds an electric car, nobody loses sleep. When VW goes electric, it's fine, because nobody buys a Toyota Camry for the visceral experience of being alive. They buy it to get to work. But Ferrari isn't selling transportation. Ferrari is selling a feeling, the feeling of being unreasonable, of being loud when the world wants you quiet, of pressing a pedal and hearing the universe respond. That feeling cannot be electrified with 4 motors and a sound system. It has to be reinvented from the ground up, and reinventing it is the hardest thing any car company has ever tried to do. Ferrari didn't reinvent it. They built a very impressive electric car and then put a horse on it. The internet did not take this quietly. The Luce was compared to a Honda Accord, to an Apple Store minivan, to a luxury toaster. Memes of a crying Enzo Ferrari flooded social media within hours.
beside me. I'll move, I'll be, I'll die, I'll be, I'll die, I'll be.
And then the stock market spoke. The day after the reveal, Ferrari shares dropped over 8% in Milan. In one day, the company lost the equivalent of $4 billion in market cap. Investors had seen the reaction online, and they ran. And then came the moment that said everything. Luca di Montezemolo, the man who ran Ferrari for over 20 years, who turned a struggling automaker into a global legend, was asked what he thought. He chose his words carefully. He said, "If I were to say what I really think, I would be hurting Ferrari. We risk destroying a legend. I'm truly sorry about that." Then he paused and added, "I hope they at least remove the prancing horse from that car."
Se dire quello che penso farei del male alla Ferrari. Si rischia la distruzione di un mito. Mi dispiace moltissimo.
Ma lo possiamo dare?
Spero che si tolga il cavallino almeno da quella macchina.
Che dobbiamo fare?
The man who saved Ferrari, asking them to take the badge off. Oh, and the Pope loved it. Ferrari brought the Luce to Castel Gandolfo, and Pope Leo XIV sat in the driver's seat and gave it his blessing. A Ferrari that the Pope approved of. Let that sink in. The most hellish car brand on earth, tamed enough for the Vatican. If you like stories like this, where a famous brand makes a decision that may be logical on paper, but feels completely different to the people who actually care, subscribe to Brand Misfire. This channel is about the moments where companies forget what customers were really buying. Now look, this isn't about being anti-electric. This isn't political. This is just economics. Customers buy products because they want them, not because they're told they should want them. And nobody in the history of Ferrari has ever bought a Ferrari because it was the sensible choice. Ferrari's entire business model is built on desire, raw, irrational, completely unjustifiable desire. The second you make a Ferrari sensible, the second it becomes something a reasonable person might drive, you've killed what makes it worth $640,000. The challenge isn't electrification. The challenge is this. Can you build an electric car that makes people feel the way a Ferrari is supposed to make them feel? Unreasonable. Alive. Like the world was built for them. The Luce doesn't do that. Not yet. Maybe the next one will. But this one? This one got blessed by the Pope, and in Ferrari terms, that might be the most damning review of all. So here is the question. If Ferrari becomes quieter, cleaner, more usable, more modern, and more practical, but loses the noise, danger, arrogance, and irrational desire people associate with Ferrari, is it still Ferrari? Or is it just a very expensive electric car wearing the badge? Tell me in the comments.
Yeah.